So now let's go to case 2. Now, one time throughout here, you're going to hear a bell ring. That's not for class. It's all good. Just keep on going. Keep on going. So we're going to case 2. So case 1, we said A was greater than 90. Case 2, we're going to say A is less than 90 degrees. So whenever we talk about case 2, that means we're going to focus on A, and we're going to talk about B sine of A. Now again, with this part, if you want to see where that B sine of A is coming from, go back and look at the notes on Canvas. There's a picture up there that shows you like where the B sine of A is coming from, and then side A, we know it's going to give it to us. So we're going to be looking at each one of these, and it's going to tell us what the solutions are, how many solutions we have. So with this, our first part is, if our A equals B sine of A, that means there's only one solution, and that solution is going to be a right triangle. So if they're equal to each other, then that means we have one solution. Now the next one is if we have A is going to be greater than B sine of A, and if A is going to be greater than or equal to B. So both of these things have to happen in order to have one solution for this one. So either they're going to equal each other, or we're going to have A is going to be greater than B sine of A, and then A is greater than or equal to B has to be true too. Both of these have to be true in order for it to be one solution. All right. Our next part, and there's a couple of these. That's why we're going to keep these notes handy with us. Another one is when our A is less than B sine of A. That means there's no solutions. So again, each one of these is we're going to deal with A, and then we're going to deal with B sine of A. So A and B sine of A. And with this part, I'm not expecting you guys to actually remember this off the top of your head. I'm just want to make sure that you have these, and then you can look back at them when it comes like for tests and quizzes and all that stuff. You can look back at your notes to help you out with this. Our last one is if any of those work, the ones above here, the 3 above here do not work, then we look at this last one here. So the B sine of A is less than A, which is less than B. Or A is going to be between B sine of A and B. And we should have 2 solutions. So one of those things are going to happen. And the big part about it, there's the bell. The big part about it is it's going to be one of these. So if it doesn't work for that first one up top, then you go to the second one. If, for example, the second one, the first part works, but the second part doesn't work, that means it's not going to be one solution. We got to go down to the next part. If it's not going to be the less than sign, it could be that it's this bottom one right here. So when we go through our next examples here, we're going to go back to example 1, and do B, C, and D. And we're going to focus on this part, these parts right here. So we're going to focus on the A and the B sine of A. All right, so let's go to example 2 again, but now let's start with B. Ejemplo 2. B. B. So we have example 2, or example 1B, sorry. So with this part, we have A's, we have B's. Again, we're looking at what the first thing is always figure out, okay, what case are we dealing with? Is A greater than 90 or is A less than 90? And in this case, we can see that A is going to be less than 90 degrees. Because 50 is less than 90 degrees. So that means we're in case 2. Case 2. So if we're in case 2, you automatically go to A, B sine of A. A and B sine of A. So we automatically go there, A and B sine of A. We're going to fill that in, and we're going to figure out like what is really happening here. So with that, we know A given to us is 60. Your B is 40 sine. Your A is 50. And from our last lesson, we already learned how to put this into the calculator, so we shouldn't be bad or anything, or should be able to do this really easily. Now, with this also, real quick, remember we're in sine, we're talking about angles, we're talking about degrees right here. So we should be in degree mode in our calculator. If you get something weird like a 0.2 or a 0.7 or something of that sort, most likely you're not in the right mode. So make sure you're in the correct mode there. So let's go ahead and put that in the calculator real quick and let's find the answer. All right, again, check your mode. So our mode right here, I'm in the gradient mode. So let's go down and change it to degrees real quick. So we went down to that line. We're going to hit enter on degree to highlight that. Make sure it's highlighted. All right, we're going to do second mode. Cancel out. And we're going to put that 40 sine 50 in there. It's going to give us what that answer is. All right, so we get a decimal. But if you look back at all the things that they gave you right here, they gave you everything was whole numbers. So the angle A, side A, and the side B were all whole numbers. So we're going to write that answer as a whole number. So we're going to say 31. Don't let me write it. 31. Sorry, guys, that looks bad. So 60, we know, is greater than 31. So what we need to do is figure out, okay, which one of those rules or one of those pieces actually works for that. So let's come back real quick. So we say, okay, A is greater than B, sine of A. So far, this is correct. That works. Check mark, check mark. There we go. That works. So if that works, let's try the second part here, this one right here. And let's make sure that actually does work also. Because if it does work, that means we have one solution. If it doesn't, then we need to look somewhere else. So let's go back. And we check our A and see how that works. Again, we're looking at B right here. Oh, come back. Come back. All right, so look at A and B. So we know A is 60. Our B is 40. So A is greater than 40, or A is greater than B. So in this case, that means it matches up with what we said here. But let me go back and put what we said right here. This part right here. So that means here we have one solution as our answer. So both of these are satisfied. Both of these work. That means we have one solution. So here we will write down one solution. And again here, if we were to work that out and find the answers, that's like what we just did when it came to our law of sines. So finding all those pieces there, just once. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Let's go to the next part. All right, so with this part, this is what I was talking about. Sometimes they might give it to you, and there's different letters in there or different random things going on. So the thing that is doubled here, the letter that's doubled, is going to be our A. So in this case, we have two Y's. I'm going to make those our A's. That's my A right there. This is my A right here. And then this is going to be my B. So I'm going to do all that part. And if you need to, for the X, Y, Z, we can change these over. So that A is our Y, B is our Z, and we're going to make X our C. So make that part. We'll do that. That way everything will line up still. All right, so with this part, we'll take a look at A and see if it's greater than 0 or greater than 90 or less than 90. And in this case, we know A is going to be less than 90 because it's a 50 degrees. Okay. So again, this is case 2. Again, the case matters. The case matters. All right, so with our case, that means we need to deal with our A and our B sine of A. Okay. So we're going to fill those in. We're going to work them out. And this time, I'm not going to put it in the calculator because we already know how to put it in the calculator. Just showed you guys that part. if you weren't sure. So hopefully you guys saw that. We're still in the same mode, so we don't have to worry about that part. So looking at this part here, we know A is 8. We know B sine of A, which is 9 sine of 50. It's a 50 right there, guys. Sorry. My board is writing weird. We say this is actually, put in the calculator, the 9 sine 50, it is actually equal to 7. This part here. So we have A is going to be greater than B sine of F7. All right, so we're like, cool, okay. So this looks like the one we just did. So we have A is actually greater than B sine of A. So far that works. We're good on that one. But let's check this out, make sure that works too. So is A greater than B? So let's check it out. Let's see what's happening there. See if it does work, great. If it doesn't, oh God. So we do A greater than or equal to B. Let's see if this works out. So our A is 8, our B is 9, and that does not work. So that means we're not going to have one solution here because that doesn't work here. So this part right here did not work. So we can't use that one. So we have to kind of look at the other ones. So we already know first off, they didn't equal each other, so we can't use the first one. We know the second one didn't work out at all. That didn't work. A is not less than B sine of A. That didn't work either. So now let's check that last piece then. So let's check out this part right here. Let's see if this is true. So I'm going to go back to the example there. So let's try that B sine of A is less than A is less than B. So if this works, then that means we know we have two solutions. But if it doesn't work, then we don't know what's going on. All right, so our B sine of A, we said was 7. We just found that over there. Our A is 8. Our 9 is B. So is that true? It is true. That works right there. So that means here we have two solutions. We have two of them, two solutions. All right, and again with that part, we take a look at this part worked out, but the second condition did not work. So we had to go back and look at our list again and see like, hey, which one could it be then if that both of those weren't satisfied, and we go back from there. Now our last one, real quick. I'm trying to get to this one real quick because we're gonna have a lot of time left on this video. Let's see if I can get this thing off of here. There we go. Get that off. Can't get you off. Can't get you out my mind. Oh God. It doesn't want to move. All right, so we jumped here. So with this part, we got everything moved up. So now we're gonna deal with our last one. So we have ABC, and again here we're talking about our A's, our doubling. So the two B's here, I'm gonna call these A's. I'm going to call this an A. I'm going to call this B. All right. So with this part, we're going to take a look at what's happening. So we're going to say A is going to be less than 90. That's 44 is less than 90 degrees. So this is still case 2. All right. And then we're going to look at A and B sine of A again. A is 3. Then we have 23 sine of 44. So our sine of 23 sine of 44 is 16. And then A is going to be, so we're going to say 3 is less than 16. Because it is. So that means that we have no solution this time. That's that one that says 0 solutions. Oh, come on. Come on, boy. There we go. So we have 0 solutions going on. And those are our 2 cases, guys. Those are the 2 of them. So at that point, we're good. Good to go.